live, so give people a few times to stay. Somebody else don't fell down. Who was that? Kyle Anderson. Why is he playing?
Oh, they say he hurt because he playing good. He was 5 for 5 last game. They say he gonna get more minutes and taking minutes away from the big men.
Definitely got to get Gobert up out of there, bro.
Yeah, Kyle Anderson has actually played really, really good in this series. I think he was like 5 for 5, 4
He
for
just
5.
slow. Well, I guess he's slow enough for Luka.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he averaging like 10 points a game, and he's actually like consistent.
Look at Cat dumbass. He looked like he ready to go home. He looked like he just.
Cat's so goofy.
He just ready to go, bro. What up, everybody? What up? We just getting situated.
I like that little mid-range.
Getting ready to watch the Wolves go to the season end tonight. Because they've been doing this same shit.
I don't know them champions people were talking about. Minnesota win the championship, walk into the championship. I'm like, man, go Bear play for this team.
And Cat.
And Cat.
That was I don't know, that was a bad call.
Uh-oh.
Who was that?
Green.
Oh.
Josh Green.
And here they go.
The others, him and
This pressure.
There goes that man. I love Nas Reed. Nas Reed is amazing.
Anyway, all right. Yeah, we'll be waiting on Q will be joining us, but we're gonna go ahead and start the show. Wait, hold on. Let me. We got the game on because it'll probably be our last time watching Ant play this season. So.
Damn, Ken.
Ken, boy. You let Ken down, he ain't gonna never. It's like letting Nas down.
No hope for you after that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we'll start when this quarter over.
Dang, it's still the first quarter?
They still need, yeah. I turned it on early. It said this shit started at 8:30. It was all them talking and stuff like that. I'm like, what are y'all, man? Y'all wasting my time. I want to hear them.
Yeah, people don't come. I don't know why they be acting like people come to see the pregame, postgame shit. Like,
especially not ESPN. Like, nobody cares what nobody on that panel got to say.
Yeah, them
Nobody
ESPN
cares,
broadcasts. I have not seen one of them yet.
Nobody cares.
Is that Stephen A. Smith on that one?
Stephen A. Smith, Will Bond, Malika Andrews.
That's all Draymond.
It's some white dude, yeah.
Draymond is with Inside.
No, Draymond with TNT.
Okay. That's what was on then. Oh yeah, because it was Kenny Smith and all them.
Draymond Saudi as hell. He as soon as he joined the shit, he grand open it.
Open is done.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Oh, Kyrie, don't tell me the legs getting a little worn down. He been going to work on them. They're gonna need him to miss the shots.
He'll get crunk up in a little bit. 9-point lead to Dallas ain't nothing.
Oh, have y'all checked out the alt cast they were doing for the Western Conference with Bomani, Chris Haynes, and Vince Carter?
I haven't got to see it yet, but I heard Bomani talking about it.
So you ain't been watching that?
Nah, I ain't watched it. Okay. I heard him talk about it on his podcast.
I was gonna try to check it out because I thought this was gonna be the last game. I don't think this is the last game.
They're talking about finishing quarters has been the issue for the Timberwolves, and once again, really an unnecessary turnover by Ant Edwards, which, is like, I don't know, what are you doing? So a chance to at least go up. Even if you take the shot, 29, 18, but you don't at least give them 2 points. Anyway, this quarter's over. All right. This is the place where sports opinions collide. Dead End Sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me on the show, we got Spike.
What up, though?
We got Shelton.
What's happening?
And Nick.
What's going on?
Q will be joining us. I sent him the link as Anthony Edwards is hot at himself for a stupid-ass turnover. One thing about Ant-Man, I didn't get a chance to see his post-game comments after falling down 0-3. But he is a guy that he does not lack confidence, bro. Like, he believes in himself and any team he on. I'll give him that. And it doesn't feel like it's false bravado either.
It does. It feel like he believe it for real, like you said.
Yeah,
that's one of the things that make me root for him, though.
Yeah, so faith only get you so far.
I would say I need to leave it in the fourth quarter and score more than 2 points.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start there though. We're gonna start with this series that's actually on right now. The Dallas Mavericks are up 3-0 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, with Game 4, of course, taking place right now. Do we need to have a conversation on Anthony Edwards? You know what? I'll kick this one off.
Oh man,
I'll kick this one off, man.
Don't do it, Ken.
I got to, bro. He a young cat, young buck. Excited. Happy he beat the champs. Thought it was his championship title. Thought he had a ring after that one. They shouldn't have won that game. Jokic didn't do what he needed to do. And therefore, here we are. But he made the silly mistake of calling out Kyrie Irving. And they asked Kyrie about that after Game 1. He said, I was sitting at home minding my business, eating dinner with my family, and then I heard my name. And
Did he call him out?
He did.
Yeah.
He said,
enough.
He said he wanted to guard him.
Enough.
That was that's
He
enough
said,
call out.
I'm guarding Kyrie.
Yeah,
this
that's
next-
enough call out in the NBA.
Yeah, that's a call out.
It was enough to get Kyrie like this. Kyrie's been playing well, but he's been passive. Kyrie's came out here to show it with purpose.
He put the moccasins on. It was over with.
Yeah,
He was lacing the moccasins up when he got called out.
When he laced it up,
Yeah, it was over.
Yeah. So that was mistake number one. The moment is this is a big moment for them. They've never been here. The Mavs have been here. This is their second appearance. This is their first. A very emotional series. Last one against the Nuggets. With a lot of roller coaster rides. And the fact of the matter is, Anthony Edwards just ain't showing up. If we just gonna just go right there, man. I mean, he has cost them 2 games in this series, and you showing up and playing well in Game 3 ain't enough, but that Game 2 turnover that led to Luka's 3, that's inexcusable. You cannot do that. Mm-hmm. And then their lack of execution in the fourth quarter. You can't maybe we can give you that one, but I'm not even gonna give him that one. And he shot like shit. So you shot like shit in Game 7. Your teammates bailed you out, and you played in other areas to make up the difference. And then in Game 1, you shot like shit. And then in Game 2, you make the costly turnover that cost him the game, that basically put the series away because you're at home. Anthony Edwards simply has not shown up in the way that he was ascending to show up. Now, he's playing well now, but can you finish the job? Can you get this win? Can you get back home to at least give your fans a parting gift? And we don't know. But Anthony Edwards and Cat have both, I think I saw a stat, they're shooting 29%. Now, we know Cat, he'll be all over the place. He's a hell of an offensive weapon. He's the best offensive player they have because he has scored all 3 levels. But Ant is the clear alpha on that team. And they go as he go, and he has not win. As a matter of fact, he about to go home. Mm-hmm. So, he ain't ready yet.
I disagree. He don't have the correct people with him to be ready yet. I think that
he knew that.
He at the level where he can perform if I had at least another killer with me. People keep comparing him to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen when he got good. When he wasn't good, when he was doing the shit that Ant is doing now, he had Charles Oakley. He had niggas like that on his team that couldn't help him do what he needed to do. And that's the same thing with Cat. Cat is a glorified 7 foot, claims he the best at whatever he does, shooting inside, outside. Yeah, you're right. He can score at all 3 levels, but he still ain't got that dog in him. That's what Jimmy Butler called him out for. That's what Ant can't call him out for because he's his current teammate and he don't know if they can move him. But if Ant had somebody else by his side, if he had any resemblance of a Robin right now, it wouldn't be 3-0. Like, I know what you're saying. He hasn't shot well. He hasn't played the best. But still, I'm the best player. I got y'all here. Can't nobody help me out?
He didn't get them there.
He did get them there.
Nah, they wouldn't be there.
Who got them there? Cat. Cat got them there, bro.
Cat got them there in that game 7. They were done.
Cat didn't lead none of those wins.
He led that
He
last
game
one.
7.
He didn't. Y'all stop.
Go back and look.
Y'all be for real.
Yes.
Anthony Edwards is the reason that team is where they are right now today.
Yeah, but he didn't get them to
He
this
did not.
spot.
He did get them to
That
that
was
spot.
Cat, bro.
Everybody
In game 7
yes.
specifically.
Everybody talked about it. They were saying how, oh man, Ant struggled, but he did everything else well. That's all we talked about. If you got to keep saying but,
Ain't no buts though. Ain't no buts.
what did he
Like
shoot?
y'all are not.
What did he shoot in game 7?
Who? And
Ant. Wasn't it like
how did they get to game 7? Minnesota not supposed to be here. Everybody on this panel and the people on that video picked against them in the first couple of rounds. The only reason that they won is because of Anthony Edwards. So yeah, whip-de-doo that Karl Anthony Towns had 1 good game or 2 good games. Y'all are right. Yes, maybe he did. But the reason that they in the position that they in is because of Anthony Edwards. And the reason that they down 3-0 is because Cat, all the rest of these dudes ain't doing shit. He don't have a number 2.
I ain't going that far. I'm not going to push it all on everybody else.
You-
but Ant, especially when
What up,
what's
Q?
up, Q?
What up, Q?
Making sure you're doing-
Especially when Ant's putting up the numbers he's putting up in the fourth quarter and just games overall. Like the stats
Right.
speak for themselves.
Right.
But I do agree with you, Lou, that Ant is the reason why they're here holistically. Like they wouldn't have gotten this far without him and his leadership. But he's still young as shit. I don't mind we're the ones doing the comparisons.
What are we talking about?
Do we need to have
Anthony
a
Edwards
conversation on
been a
Edwards?
letdown so far.
Yeah. Do we need to have a conversation on him? I don't think we necessarily need to by him being in the Western Conference Finals. I mean, like, what kind of conversation are we really having?
A conversation about Ant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do see that, like, as much as I wanted him to represent the West in the finals, it's not looking like it is because he just don't know what to do when you need to do it.
Well, he's a baby. I mean, we've been saying I don't know really what a lot of y'all have thought about Ant beyond the fact that he has pretty good poster dunks and, just highlights from here and there. But if you recall, every time you all have asked me about Ant being the face of the NBA, I'm like, no, that's not the approach the NBA wants to do. He can't be the face of the NBA because they need too many markets to come up. There's too many talented players across the league. And this actually factors into the reason why the Jordan comparisons never made sense. Anthony Edwards doesn't play like Michael Jordan. His game doesn't resemble Michael Jordan. It never resembled Kobe Bryant. And they kept putting him in these conversations because they're trying to, beef up a fight is what it is. Is that, we have Luka and Kyrie versus the potential next MJ. And it's like, y'all just saw a dark-skinned dude who could dunk and said, oh, shit, he's the face of the league. And it's like, no, he's an amazing player. He's going to be top 3 once he gets his bumps and bruises. But he's a baby, bro. He is a child in the NBA. He's 22 years old. The only other player who's been this far averaging what he's done is, I believe, Kobe Bryant. And
I think Kobe and Bron.
Yeah, Kobe, but LeBron. I don't think LeBron got this far in the playoffs at 22 years old. If I'm not mistaken,
was he not in the finals with the?
Was he 21 or 22? I'm pretty sure. Either way, LeBron is amazing, so he's probably in there. But let's just say, for sake of argument, the arguable GOAT of the sport, and then a lot of people.
He was 22. Q. LeBron was 22.
All right,
Massive
cool.
finals.
So
Yeah.
It's crazy.
LeBron James is the arguable GOAT of the sport who made it to the finals at 22, and then Kobe Bryant who had Phil Jackson and Shaq. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these are very harsh measurements to live up to. So Ant is gonna get there. He's gonna be there, but dude, the time in which you come into your NBA body and you come into your IQ and your movement on the court being as fluid as it's going to be is normally not until you're like 27, 26. And that's the prime of a player is like 25 through like 31 if you're an amazing player. And if you can extend it even further, you're seeing that with guys like LeBron and what Tim Duncan did. But those are pantheon guys. So we needed to tamper these expectations. And the Wolves do need a number 2 because Karl Anthony Towns has been this guy. Like we've been saying that Karl Anthony Towns has the ability to be good. He has every tool that you need. But in terms of like the crunch time moments, man, I don't see that for him. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying he can't go somewhere else. But if you want the second guy on your team to be someone that you can count on, you don't put Cat in that list of guys that you know that you can count on. He's not on that list. He surprised me. Anytime Cat does something good, don't lie to yourself. You look at the shit like, man, Cat's playing good. You're not like, yeah, that's what Cat's supposed to do.
Right. I agree with you,
Go
Q.
there, jump on the goddamn floor.
You saying that it's right there, patting at the ball.
Get on the fucking floor! It's game 4!
In the Western Conference Finals.
What the hell are you doing?
You down 3-0.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Q. The unfortunate thing though is it's gonna be tough to get back here. It's gonna be super tough. No
Not
matter
if you
how
get
much.
rid of Cat. If you get rid of Cat,
Bro.
But it don't work like that.
it
You already
does,
know. You know it ain't always addition by subtraction.
as people have been saying throughout the media, this team was built to beat Denver. Okay, cool. We beat Denver. Now we've gotten to the Western Conference Finals. We ran into 2 guards, Kyrie and Luka, who we cannot stop. Now we need to adjust our team to be able to compete with them as well.
And then Denver
I don't
comes
think it's
back and
that.
beat
It ain't that
Right.
hard.
Right.
Yeah, you adjust to this, and then you can't beat that.
If I'm Minnesota, I'm no longer scared of Denver.
You should be. You still should be.
Why?
But just because you do it
once-
once don't mean you.
Yeah,
gonna do it again.
Yeah,
But
don't take
if I'm
that.
Minnesota, I believe in that series I have the best player. I didn't believe that going into this series right now, but now since I beat him with Ant Edwards, I believe that Ant Edwards is going to be a better player than Jokic is.
That's what
I can't project. Not next year.
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't I
yeah.
think that if I'm y'all saying it as fans? Why wouldn't I think that if I'm Minnesota though? We beat them last year.
Right.
All I need to do is continue to add to what I have.
Happen. It can happen though. It's not you know it. You know, think about how it works in football. Same thing is back and forth. It's like that.
That's fair.
Just because you beat a team in a series don't mean that you're a better team automatically.
but-
We know that this team is closer to this than they are to what played against Denver.
If I'm going
they
into the
stepped up.
offseason and I lose this in a sweep, or if I lose this even 1 game to 4, I'm still thinking, okay, what can I do to get better outside of Cat and still be able to beat Denver?
And they don't
Because
have a
now
lot of
I feel
moves.
like I got the advantage, Ken, against Denver because I got Ant Edwards. They don't have Ant Edwards.
You know the crazy
Ain't helping them right now.
Nah,
right.
bro,
You know the crazy thing. This Dallas team probably wouldn't have beat Denver.
I don't know about
No, I
that.
don't
This
think-
Dallas
I don't
team.
think-
I
I
don't,
don't
know
think
about
they
that. This Dallas team is cooking. This is
They are.
Dallas is the one of like how Kyrie and Luka are playing right now. Who can beat them?
But
They
this
are,
is,
but
this is just matchups. In my personal opinion, this all comes down to matchups. This is what every playoff in every sport is about: is do the gloves match up? You know what I mean? If you want to get it down to boxing analogy, styles are gonna make the fights here. And Denver, they got taken all the way to the razor's edge, and Minnesota, in my opinion, they played above what their billing was. And you have to be able to look at that from the standpoint that when you go into the offseason, you're going to build on what you've done against Denver, but the matchup against 2 dominant, perimeter guys like Kyrie and Luka who are just so locked in, it was never really favoring Minnesota. Even though everyone was saying that, oh man, this should be a cakewalk for Minnesota, Dallas is too small. Once again, you're putting the onus on the front court, when the fact is that backcourt for backcourt, Ant and Jaden McDaniels versus Luka and Kyrie Irving. Come on, bro! Like it was never gonna be a clean sweep. It was never gonna be 5 games. It was always gonna be 6 or 7 games. And Kyrie and Luka look like they're just in that bag right now. So Minnesota, like to Spike's point, I agree. You have to look at this season as what odds did we have to win the finals before? We weren't in like the top 5 teams being favored. We beat the champs, and we can potentially get younger We can potentially move some pieces around. We have inflated the value of every player on this team now. Conley, Naz Reid, Cat, Gobert. Everyone's value has increased. So now you can just take calls and see, all right, do we need to get another guard next to Ant? Do we need to get a more dynamic point guard? Do we need a better small forward? We can get Cat out of here. Maybe go get DeRozan and Zach LaVine. You have no idea, man. Like there's so much that is on the line for Minnesota in the next couple of years. But right now is not that time.
How much flexibility do they have though? Because
Right.
they traded a lot of picks away to get Gobert. They traded what, four
Y'all were
number
telling me Cat is the number 2. Why wouldn't teams take him?
Because they know what
he
Cat
just don't
is.
work with Anthony
His
Edwards. He's still good.
No. They know what Cat is.
It's his contract, and it's also like we seen Cat in Minnesota. He was the number 1 overall pick too. We seen Cat in Minnesota for that long and not really do shit with all those different teams. Remember, he had Jimmy Butler in them. He's had a lot of different teammates. It took him a whole nother number 1 overall pick to get Ant. So it's just like I don't think who pairs well with Cat at this stage of his career.
And
I
then at the
think
same-
the people
at the-
look at Cat and they see what he can do inside, outside. Just like Ken said when we led into this segment, he can score from all 3 levels. He's 7 feet tall. He can give you a good matchup on other centers. People are going to take him. He just don't work with Anthony Edwards. It's not what Anthony Edwards needs in order to get to the next level. That's all it is.
What are you about to say?
You know, I was gonna say it's funny we say that he don't work with Ant, but the reason why they're here is because of that combo.
It's not.
Yes, it
It
is.
is.
It is. It's
y'all.
the
It
twin tower
is,
combo.
right?
They're here because of Ant and Cat.
No, they're here because of Ant.
Not just Ant. No, Ant did not single-handedly do this.
No.
I ain't saying he single-handedly did this, but he did most of the work.
No, he did not.
No.
I put Cat on my back, and I put Gobert on my back.
Now,
That's what happened.
Cat stepped up when they needed him to at times. Now Cat is still Cat.
Stepped up at times. That's
look
what I'm
at-
saying. That's all I'm saying.
If you look at what, and I say it all the time about Cat. I say Cat is going to be Cat at some point, but Cat is up here at times. Cat does play like a great number 2 at some points,
Which is why I think they can get value for him. Like but
Right,
if y'all
but-
talking about all time twos, and you tell me he
Bro,
is
this
Joe
guy, if they
Dumars
don't-
or he is
it's
Scottie
sorry,
Pippen
bro.
or he is someone like that, he's not that.
No, he's not that. He's not
Anthony
consistent
Edwards
enough.
needs that. That's what I'm saying. That's
But
all. That's all I'm
who
saying.
in the league is that you can pair with him that'll work
And right.
and be that?
And
for
then
him?
you give up. Go ahead, Q.
If we're talking,
Yeah.
I mean, bro, there's a lot of places to go. Like if you're Minnesota, if your coaching staff says we just actually need more bench help, then you look at teams like Orlando signing trades. You look at teams like the Knicks with signing trades. Oju Anunoby is going to be up this year. Maybe you want to go get Anunoby to put next to McDaniels and him. If you want more scoring, you look at Chicago. Like, hey, Levine, someone come back to Minnesota for a reunion. We need another 18 points per game. You know, like something like that. Like Paul George, you call Anthony Towns, go to the Clippers. We'll sign and trade for Paul. Like, there's a lot of options I feel like that are out there because teams are going to want to play him. I mean, players are going to want to play in Minnesota now. And Chris Finch winning Coach of the Year, Anthony Edwards being, everyone's like, yo, he's are going to be our new guy. I think that people have gained more respect for Gobert, counterintuitive to what people think is the narrative. I think people have gained more respect for him as an anchor. No one says that to win Defensive Player of the Year, you have to be this nimble Dennis Rodman, Draymond Green type of guy. Like that's unfair to guys who are more stationary. Like we can't have it both ways. Do we want the big man to come back to the league or do we not? You know what I mean? Like because guys in the 90s like Gobert who were defensive stouts, like they are not going to be able to step out and guard Gary Payton on like a switch. Then they're not going to be able to stay in front of Clyde Drexler. So why do we expect a classic defensive big like Gobert to be able to? That's actually Jaden McDaniels' fault for rejecting that screen. As a matter of fact, they should have let Luka get right to the paint and try to funnel him and force a contested 2 instead of letting them get confused at the top of the screen. So you have a lot to build on if you're Minnesota. Yo, you're not looking at this like if we lose going out. They've had a lead in every single one of these games.
Yep.
And not even just a lead, Q. It's like the last 2 minutes, last 4 minutes, last 5 minutes.
Situations,
it's like,
man.
It's like, bro, like you're like, this shouldn't be 3-0. Like,
No.
this
Should be
no, it's
2-2.
not even. Yeah,
Right.
I think at worst 2-1.
But y'all know how sports go, man. Now you got a target on your back. So you're gonna get team's best effort at this point, whereas before you didn't get that. So in saying that, I'm still not sure that we're gonna get. And once again, I don't worry about Ant. I'm with y'all. I'm not really worried about Ant like that because I think Ant will be fine. It's what you surround him with, and to make it be like, okay, well, we can just get back. They're not just gonna get back there. And once again, they're in albatross because they don't have no picks coming. They pretty much stuck with what they got unless somebody is willing to take a flyer and send them something back.
They
valuable.
have solid stuff though. Like,
Well-
all they need to do is get rid of Cat.
No, they don't. No, they don't have to do that. Next year, they're gonna have way more experience than they have this year. Those
King, you
2-minute
still got
situations.
Cat. King,
No,
you still got
Spike.
Cat
This
too.
all came down to what they just spoke about: late game execution and critical moments when they need to win the game. They'll have that experience next year.
Cat not going. He's never going to be better in those situations
Why not?
because he's just not that. He's not that dude. Like he has the physical
well,
attributes.
but he's never been
He
this
has the
far
physical
either, though.
Yeah,
attributes.
but
he's
let me
never-
ask you this. Who turned the ball over in game 2 to cost them the game? Was it Cat?
It wasn't.
All right.
But Ken, that doesn't make Cat the player that you needed to. All I'm saying is he isn't the person who's going to, if we want to stop losing in the conference finals 4-0 or 4-1, we got to get rid of him. There needs to be a more
No, you
responsible
don't,
player.
man.
There has to
have
be a
to.
more responsible player too. Cat still make too many dumb mistakes, and Ant can't afford that right now at this stage of his career.
You know what's crazy? We not even saying that about Gobert. And Gobert is the same thing he was
He
in
the
Utah.
defensive player of the year, though.
We talked about the same thing about Gobert in Utah, the playoffs. I saw.
Yeah, but
Same
he's in
thing.
Minnesota
He's
now.
always been
He's
there.
in Minnesota.
But he's doing the same
And yes,
thing.
Now he got cooked a couple of times. You're right, but still, I need
A
that
couple
anchor. Like
times?
somebody on this, like somebody was just saying, he is still a good anchor. Yeah, we need
No.
him back there to play defense. Cat is still the person. Like I can't depend on Cat to be Scottie Pippen or Joe Dumars or number 2 on a solid team. He's not that person. And
Yeah,
as soon as Minnesota
yeah.
realize that, that's when they'll get to the next level. It ain't got nothing to do with Anthony Edwards. It got everything to do with Cat. He not that dude.
Yeah, and like I said, I think that because of his up and down, I get that part, but at the same time, you wouldn't be in a position without him.
Yeah,
I stick by that
I'm
because,
not
like I
saying-
said,
yes, because
when
he is talented. Y'all are right. Yes, you would be in this position. You wouldn't be in this position without him. But I'm saying there is a higher level that you can go to if you have somebody better than him, and you can use him as trade bait to
but
get a better piece.
I just don't know how you can do that. I don't know. I mean, I heard you when you said Zach LaVine, but I ain't thinking about no Zach LaVine.
all right,
I mean, I know
so
you just throwing out names.
No, but
Cat-
if-
I
if-
mean,
I-
Q
I-
gave some really good options though.
I mean,
No,
dude, Draymond Green wants a contract.
Draymond.
If you want to talk about defense and bringing in like a defensive veteran, somebody who's going to defer to Ant, teach him how to play the game the right way, unlock some things with him and dribble handoffs. Like Draymond Green wants
Punch him in the face?
He's punch somebody in the face. Like that's what they need, like somebody to really dig into them during the playoffs. And I feel
He
like
had
Klay
Pat
Thompson. There's a
Bev.
whole bunch of guys. There's a whole bunch of guys out there.
You know, what's funny is, and I forgot about that. I was talking to my brother about that. He was talking about, Pat Bev effect was real. Like Pat kind of was
Yeah.
that leader and that bully that they needed on the court at
Yeah,
times
man.
because they don't really have it. These guys are kind of soft.
I just want to make sure I understand. Y'all are saying that y'all would just re-up after they get swept or beat 4-1. Y'all just coming back with Cat next year?
Honestly, I think they can run it back. I think make a couple of adjustments to the roster.
I think
I do-
they're
I
closer.
do
I think
think-
they're closer with this
Come on,
than they
y'all.
would be with something else.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I
Yeah.
get where you coming
Q.
from, Lou. I get where you coming
Q.
from, Lou. But
There's not a
makes no
move.
sense
There's
to get
not
to
a.
Western. It makes no sense to get to Western Conference Finals just to blow up the team.
If
I ain't saying blow up the team. I'm just saying
I'm the
get
owner-
rid
If
of
you get
Cat.
rid of Cat, that's blowing up the team.
If
not.
I'm the
That
owner,
is.
if I'm the owner of the Timberwolves and Spike and Ken are like competing execs who are trying to make a case for, we got to move off Towns, or somebody's like, no, Towns is the reason why we got here. I would need Spike to show me the potential packages that we could get in
Right.
in return.
That's fair.
But I'm telling you right now, if I can replace Cat's defensive production with another big, and then get a guy like a Levine in the same deal, like if I can get Caruso and Levine to come to Minnesota, I would probably deal Cat tomorrow.
Nah.
But that's
I-
but that's just because I think that his defense has declined, and we actually need more offense in the playoffs because Gobert is actually the key to how the defense moves. It's the fact that you know that you got that 7-2 Parisian behind you, is that you can, slip up on defense and you can kind of take some plays off here and there. You got Jaden McDaniels to funnel people into. You can kind of, shade on screens with those guys. When I got Cat, I have to account for the fact that he has to get his touches. He has to shoot his threes. But why am I going to pay a 7-1 guy to just keep shooting threes if our ceiling has been shown to be maximizable, and not just this year, but over the next 2 years? And to Sheldon's point, you have Denver, you have Dallas, which if they go on this run and they win this championship, they'll be the champs. They're going to repeat, so it's like,
You got OKC
there's a whole
still.
bunch. OKC is still coming up. Shea and them are going to just be another year older. Ja's coming back. What is Memphis going to do? Houston's lurking in the wings with a very potential young stud in Jalen Green. And it's like you have all these different pieces. You have no idea what LeBron's going to do. Maybe LeBron wants to go play with Ant. You have no idea. But I have to see what the package is. What if they draft Bronny James? We're having different conversations here. All I'm saying is both Ken and Spike could talk me into their decisions because I think both have merit. There's no one clear decision here.
It would just take something, and I'm with you on that. It would just take something great because what Cat brought with the size, even though he did play on the perimeter a lot of times, his size and his scoring prowess is kind of part of the reason why they're here. And it's tough to replace that. You're not going to find too many 7-footers that can step out and shoot it from that distance. And we can see he scored 60 in a game this year. We see what he can do when he's cooking. So, and there's times, and we've seen it too, Ant can get out there and get you 30.
Yes.
And at times he can get you 16, 14. And at those games is when you're going to need a player like that with that size and that ability to step up. A guy, some of these other guys, these guards, I don't trust them as much. When we see what Gobert is, I'm more critical of Gobert than anybody else. I saw, for the first time in my life, I agree with Kendrick Perkins. That's all I'm talking about today. He said, I'm sorry, I cast my vote for Defensive Player of the Year for Rudy Gobert. I was wrong. I want to take it back. He was like, he dogged Gobert.
I see that.
And I agree with him. I was like, man, I don't know how he could have got it. And I see him in the playoffs. He fugazi. He's fake. We see it. Nobody's afraid of Gobert in the playoffs. I'll be licking my chops to play Minnesota, not because I got to deal with Ant, but you got Gobert on your team. I'm going right at him every time.
We're talking about two of the best offensive players. We're talking about Luka.
Exactly, yeah.
Joker.
Kyrie
Come
Irving.
on, man.
But anybody
Let's
is
be for
like
real.
that. Ain't
Gobert-
nobody scared of Gobert.
Oh, they-
we saw what Joker did to him.
But that Joker's all.
Nope, Spike. I'm gonna stop you there. I'm gonna stop. No. I'm gonna stop you there because you were watching basketball. They did the same shit to him in Utah. There are episodes of me saying the same exact shit when he was in Utah. This is not new.
Yeah, he Defensive Player of the Year, all these accolades.
He's making first team All NBA.
Bro, that's that white shit, bro. I keep trying to tell you.
He was making All-Star teams because he was the only center. He's the only one. Joel Embiid was hurt.
But Gobert is still an asset, though. He still can play defense, regardless if he getting cooked by Joker or if he getting cooked.
You
by
can go
Luka.
get somebody to play weak side
Not
defense
7'2"
if you
like
want
him,
to.
bro.
You can take in the
bro.
playoffs. You can take the ET out there. He just
I'd keep him before I keep Cat.
You would keep go.
Yes,
Gobert is valuable, man. He has a real value. He has a real value for what they want to do. If you remove Gobert and keep Towns, you'll see how much Towns needed Gobert in it. And not vice versa.
And vice versa, you can say the same thing the other way around.
No, you can't.
Because Gobert has nothing on the offensive end.
Gobert is more
Nobody's afraid
consistent.
of him.
And Gobert is more consistent on defense than Towns is anywhere else.
You think
anywhere else.
You think Luka ain't happy to be playing Gobert?
It's Luka though. We talking about the best offense. You
This
talking about
is
the
when it
person who
matters.
led the league in scoring.
But Spike, that's the point. We're in the playoffs now, and we're in the crux of the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's when you go see the Lukas, the Jokers.
You right.
The
But
real
that's why I got
players.
Anthony Edwards out here.
You know what? Here's the thing.
And he can't get past him.
Here's the thing, man, is that sometimes
And then we'll move on.
The last thing. Sometimes the film is just the film, and sometimes it is as simple as they have two better players than we do. Because if you've had leads in each game, you got the coach of the year, you got defensive player of the year, you have guys breaking out into their own relative stardom like Naz Reid and Jaden McDaniels, and you have Anthony Edwards ascending, and it's like we're still losing these close games just on possessions of Ant looking gassed, or Ant turning the ball over, Cat missing an easy layup, or Gobert getting cooked on a switch. These are not necessarily like, oh, you're not doing your job things. These are just, you're young, you're Carl Anthony Towns, and this is who you've been your entire career. And Gobert this is who you've been your entire career. A great anchor to funnel guys into the paint, but you can't step out and guard nobody. That's why Donovan Mitchell is in Cleveland and you're in Minnesota. So sometimes it is just as simple as this is what it is, man. This might just be Kyrie and Luka's time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because that's where we're gonna go next. They basically will go to the finals. I mean, you got Gobert in foul trouble, you got Towns in foul trouble, you got Edwards in foul trouble. They all got 3 fouls in the second quarter.
And they came back from that lead.
Yeah. Well, that was a given, but so now they can't even be on the court. Mm-hmm. So now this is a wrap. They're like, if they win this game, I'll be shocked. So the call has been made. It's time for Luka to go ahead and go to the finals. Who's been more impactful though, Luka or Kyrie?
That's a great question.
You already,
Kyrie.
I was gonna say it's Kyrie. No question.
I was gonna say Kyrie because what Luka does, Luka is like this. It's like this. Kyrie is at another level right now. So even though we know he got it in him, he's able to do so with freedom, and it's at times more awesome. I mean, more often now it's his team than before, even in the regular season. So he stepped up his play tremendously in these playoffs and has won these games, without question. And Luka has done a great job of deferring and getting the hell out of his way when he needed to. Because at times, what I'm saying, people always talked about Luka being a ball hog, and they've unlocked the code at this point, and they figured out, hey, this is our team. At times, you Batman and I'm Robin, and then I could switch it on and off. And that's what makes him special. But Kyrie's play, to me, like I said, and I've been debating in my head, I've said it a couple of times, this is just as impressive as the Cleveland run to me, if not more. Because he is.
Don't claim it like they gotta win the championship before you can say that.
Kyrie is the greatest Robin in basketball history, in my personal opinion, when it comes to offense. Not like in terms of championship pedigree, because you got to get that to probably Pippen in a lot of people's minds.
Better than Kobe?
Some people say, I feel like Kobe's never been really a Robin outside of the Shaq run.
I'm talking about the Shaq years. So like, is he better than that Shaq run?
In terms of like what he can do offensively, I feel like he was more skilled than Kobe was during those years. During the later years when he was switching to 24, no, like Kobe's probably the most skilled guard, small forward that like we've seen. But if we're talking about just in terms of the Robin role, in terms of the number 2 guy, there's no better guy to have as number 2 when you have alpha number 1 like a Luka or a LeBron. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at, because if we're talking isolation scoring, they're the greatest backcourt I've ever seen. Not saying shooting, because that's Steph and Clay still. But if we're talking about isolation scoring, 3-level, like mid-post, like at the top of the key, the nail, side out, like doesn't matter the situation, like dribble, pound, pull up, step backs. Clay never had that. Clay is, I'm moving without the ball. This run is a very spectacular run, but it just shows that Kyrie has allowed for Luka to get looks that he wasn't getting even with Jalen Brunson. I feel like Brunson might, and I think that Brunson could have grown into being a really good number 2 for Luka, but the level of separation that Kyrie can create, the creativity he has when he gets to the basket, the bag is just so deep, and just the mastery of isolation scoring that he just somehow knows how to fit within an offense. It's actually like wizardry. And another thing before I pass the baton to Nick is we say so much about the players and everything, and I agree that they should get like 90%, but 10% of this got to go to the coach, because Jason Kidd is whooping Finch's ass right now.
Yeah,
he's been out coaching him every single game.
Facts.
That was my next point, Q. I was gonna mention, like, I think the unsung hero of all this is Jason Kidd.
Yes, it is.
Especially with a lot of these moves came into the last 2 seasons. Like as far as the trade acquisitions, the drafts. and even being able to coach and mentor Kyrie, which I give most of that to Kid. I don't give it to nobody else. I ain't saying Luka ain't really shit to me in this scenario. It's more so Kyrie and J Kidd.
It is.
Because to me, Kyrie, honestly, he may be. I don't know if I can say that argument that Q brought up, the greatest Robin, may be true, but I would say he's probably a top 3 clutch player of all time when it comes to like a deep playoff run. And the reason why I told you, Sheldon, I gotta wait till if they win this championship to compare that Cleveland team, because the shit that him and LeBron did to come back down, bro. Like I don't know if y'all ever. I don't know. I wish some people would just rewatch those, like that finals. Mm-hmm. That series was crazy. Both of them was dropping 35 plus. Yeah, like it was some phenomenal duo action. Pause. But I will say that to me it's Kyrie. Kyrie, he did everything he did the things that everybody said he does best. Like shut up and dribble. All right. Like we don't want to hear you talk about nothing else. We don't care about all that other extra shit, because that mostly kept you off the court. But when you're on the court and you just doing your thing professionally, it's like, why? To me, it's just looking at this makes me like, if he would have done this in Boston, we're talking about a dynasty era. Like we're talking about something that maybe the Warriors wouldn't able to been to win all those titles towards the end. After that, those first 2.
Boston or Brooklyn?
Yeah. Well, I think I say more Boston than Brooklyn, because Boston, like, they were all young still. Like, imagine Kyrie on this year's Celtics team or last year's Celtics team. Like,
yeah,
that would have been crazy.
You know what makes this even more impressive is the fact that now he's even bought in on the defensive end. Kyrie has been playing some amazing defense in his, and
that's coaching. That's coaching.
Yeah. That's why I say that. That's why Jason Kidd does get a lot. I said in the chat about Jason Kidd too. He should get a lot of this credit. The adjustments that he's making, the times that he rests them, because he rests them at opposite times, and he's getting guys in the game like Hardy that's playing well. Josh Green, all these guys are coming in and they're doing their roles. Cleveland is back tonight, and everybody's stepping up when they need a shot. They can get it from anywhere. He brought in PJ from Charlotte. And PJ's playing like a man possessed at times. He hit some.
He free.
Yeah, right.
Ain't not in Charlotte anymore.
Right. Same thing with
man. Imagine what LaMelo might do, bro.
Yeah. Same thing with Gafford in Washington.
Yep.
Like, these guys come in these situations, and they understand their roles. I saw something else that was crazy that I give J Kidd a lot of credit for. They had like the most alley-oops in the playoffs. They had like 50 alley-oops. To 9 to the next highest team or something like that.
It's like 30. It's like 30 to like the next. The other 2 teams is like 9 and 7. It's like Boston.
Imagine being a hooper and you get to play with Kyrie and Luka. Man, that's what more could you ask for if you could play offense?
Yeah, especially a big that can catch the shit over the rim. Yeah, you perfect.
Or even a 3-point shooter. Like PJ Washington, what's his name? Derrick Jones Jr. Like they
Lively. I saw where Lively's plus minus was the highest by any rookie. It's like the second highest of any rookie in the NBA history. Something crazy like that.
Yeah. He's had 100% field goal percentage in like every game. Yeah,
it's ridiculous, man.
It's amazing, man.
And they getting contributions. He's not playing tonight because he got the concussion. But you're getting contributions from so many different players. Dwight Powell hadn't played in forever, and now he out there on the court.
He coming back.
He out there now.
Yeah, he was a neck injury. They ain't want to put the concussion on him because they don't want to keep him out. But
there was no reason to.
He's going to be key. He's going to be Aaron Gordon
very much so.
in this season. In this next series, if they make it, he's going to be playing that Aaron Gordon role. Luka's going to be snaking through the paint, lob it right up to him.
But I give Jason Kidd, and I'm going to pass it off, but Derrick Jones is the one that I'm the most impressed with. Inserting him into that starting lineup and allowing him the freedom to shoot that corner 3, which used to be, he's in that role that with the Spurs, what was his name? Bruce Bowen used to play. That's the role that Derrick Jones is playing, which is crazy because I never saw him we saw him as a dunker and pretty much nothing else. That's how I saw him anyway. And now he has a home, he has a role. He's getting to the rim, but he's also able to shoot that 3 in the corner, and he's guarding whoever the toughest guy is on the other side. So they got a squad, and they put pieces in place that work. And Dallas is made to win right now.
Yep. To your point, Ken, yes, it's Kyrie. Kyrie is the answer, the reason, everything that to speak to Dallas' success to this playoff run. They tried to write him off when he was going through all the shit in Brooklyn. He can't play basketball. Stephen A. Smith even took the thing to say, oh, he should retire. Like, a lot of people were saying that Kyrie was done and he couldn't just because they disagree with some shit that he did off the court. Now we're seeing him on the court, no distractions, playing with somebody like Luka who can really bring it as well as him. And now we're in the conference finals and can't nobody fuck with us. Like, we're talking about one of the baddest backcourts that we've seen. Yeah. And nobody would have thought that coming into this season. All because we tried to outcast Kyrie because of the shit that was going on off the court. So, yeah, to that question, Ken, yes, it's Kyrie 100%. Luka's been doing his thing. He's doing what we expect Luka to do, everybody except Ken. But, like he's doing Luka type shit. And then Kyrie coming in and be like, oh, y'all forgot. Y'all forgot that I was the dude that came back, like Nick said, from the series with Cleveland 3-1. Like, y'all forgot nobody's ever done that before. Y'all forgot, like Q said, I might be the best Robin ever to do this because y'all can't focus on somebody like Luka or focus on somebody like LeBron or what we thought y'all couldn't focus on somebody like KD in Brooklyn and still win games and have to deal with me too. Like, he's showing that in Dallas. And yeah, we got to give props to Kyrie.
Well, shout out to the brother coming to save the white man once again. Black man coming to rescue a white man in their dire time of need when they were failing as a basketball player. Nah, he went to the Luka's been all right, but yeah, I think it's a good point you made about how they wrote him off. And here he is now. Everybody want to talk highly about him.
Yep.
Which is dope. I think Kyrie don't give a damn one way or the other. I think I can definitely appreciate that.
We can tell by the shoes that he got on that he don't give two fucks about nothing.
I fuck with
you come out there with the Air Moccasins, bro.
The Air Moccasins,
bro. I don't care about nothing, bro.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I do think that I'm glad you guys are talking about Jason Kidd. Nobody's saying anything about him, and he needs to be discussed, in this whole situation. And I think the other thing that I thought was funny yesterday when we were looking at potential matchups against the Boston Celtics, we were talking about that series next, the chat, outside of B said, oh, man, I hope Kyrie busts Boston ass. Somebody else mentioned Kyrie going off and playing in the finals.
Nobody said
Black ass chat didn't really say shit about Luka, except when Nick came through. But he was just, not like he was just, saying that he thinks they will win the finals.
Can't for us by us. We still root for Kyrie.
Nick messed up the vibe, man. He used Luka and the Mavs. Nah, it's Kyrie and the Mavs, Nick. This Kyrie team. This Kyrie team, man.
Hey, kid, I'm gonna let you know that right now. Kyrie ain't gonna break that winning Finals MVP thing he trying to get. He ain't get it with LeBron. He ain't gonna get it with Luka. That's who they always give it to those niggas who they feel that's their team. That's why I say it's his team. Because no matter what Kyrie do, they're gonna give it to Luka. Can score 5, 5, and 5. He gonna still get Finals MVP.
But if he do get it, he might be as shocked as Jaylen Brown was last night when he got the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. He was like, what?
He deserved it too, though.
Jaylen Brown, he reacted the same way when Bernice Burgos responded to his DM. He was like,
oh, damn.
I won.
Oh, damn.
Man.
When she responded back off the shot, Nick, he was like, oh, shit, what?
Oh, I'll never win nothing.
He didn't know what to do next. He had to figure it out. That was good, Nick.
This dude might be hell next year, bro. He might be hell next year. Anyway, the Celtics swept the Pacers, and we talking about another team that just could not execute. How many games did they lose in the final minute because they just didn't know how to close a game out? 3, right?
Yeah, 3 of 4.
Yeah, because I think Boston won one running away.
If you start adding the Knicks series into it, it's like 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Rick Carlisle, Spike. Maybe you need to stop praising folks because you were just talking about how great he was, and look at this and shit. I think the reason FIFO ain't here because FIFO was talking shit about Minnesota, going all the way and talking highly about Cat like he ain't never seen Cat in his whole life.
FIFO pulled a trade from Boys in the Hood. Let me out, though. Let me out.
Shit, FIFO did like Nick did last week.
Yeah, Nick definitely pulled a trade. Hey, let me out, Ken. Let me out.
First of all, I was preoccupied.
Let me out, though.
I was preoccupied. Plus, I needed an extra week to get over it, bro.
You was doing your exit interviews.
I was doing my post game pressure. I had to clean out my locker room.
Let me out, though.
Oh man, this is the Celtics' second finals appearance in the last 3 years.
We ain't impressed with shit, kid. Let's just get to it. We don't give a damn about these niggas at all.
Why not? People
It's Jason Tatum, bro. Like,
I have two dogs in me, as people say, like about the like indigenous like myth that there's two dogs, one dog, whichever one you feed more. So there's a Celtics hater in me that's just going to talk complete shit, and then there's a basketball fan in me that's just like, oh yeah, Celtics are a solid team, they have this and that. But today I'm gonna feed the hater because this Mickey Mouse run that they just had to the finals, they can get this shit out of here, bro. You played the Chipotle working Miami Heat G League team. You played the Cleveland Uber drivers with Donovan Mitchell was out for 2 games. And then you play the Indiana, you know what I'm saying, Instacart workers. Like I'm not trying to like give Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown shit for playing who they had to play in front of them. But bro, come on, man. What am I supposed to do? Like I've had to hear NBA media for the past week and a half talk about I don't know if they can beat the Pacers without Porzingis. When the fuck did Kristaps Porzingis become Hakeem Olajuwon? That he's the key to this run. When you telling me that you have 2 superstars, right, in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I'm not saying that injuries and key injuries from bench guys can't impact, outcomes. But if you telling me that y'all couldn't get past the Pacers because it was in jeopardy without Porzingis, then that's already telling me that it's about to be a hedge. It's about to be a hedge for when whoever they play in the finals, if they lose, it's because they didn't have Porzingis. But this is just the luxury that Boston gets because I've been saying it for years. The only reason we gas Jason Tatum this much is because the Sixers, number one, don't invest in Joel Embiid actually having a great team around him, and Joel Embiid don't live up to his talent. That's the only reason we give Jason Tatum this much love is because by proxy, when the Sixers don't do anything past the first round, and when we don't have a good team, you're paying Tobias Harris $122 million, it makes the next other team look like they're about to do something great and go through all these championship runs. And it's like, yeah, bro, by default, because the Knicks need more help, and the Sixers are terrible every year in the playoffs. No one's going to bring Joel no help. So who else is going to win when Dame and Giannis go down every other year? Like, of course, the Celtics is going to make it to a finals. Man, you ain't have to play a single soul. So that's the hater in me. The basketball fan in me, congratulations to Boston, man. But, I mean, that's what they're supposed to do.
It's because on paper, if you were to read Jason and Jaylen Brown, I would say both of them, if you were to read off their resume they've done since coming into the league, you'd be like, bro, this is one of the greatest young talents to damn near probably ever walk NBA. Like, they've been to that was their 6th conference finals, and they're still under 30, both of them. Like, and they're now going to 2 finals in 3 years. Like, that's something that you'd be like, for as young as they are, you'd be like, wow, this team should be damn near Hall of Fame worthy. But then you watch the games, you're just looking at it and you be like, bro, this ain't impressive at all. I'd rather damn near watch anything but their playoff series. Most of the playoff series should have been on NBA TV. Like, I'm like, so like now that they're in the finals, we're just automatically, we was gonna chalk it up to the West regardless. I was wrong in my prediction, but I was like, no one's gonna beat the Nuggets in 7 games, and that was really it. But then when I saw Timberwolves were beating the Nuggets, I was like, okay, they're gonna win it. And then now you see Dallas beating the Timberwolves. Like, all right, it's like we're just going down. Like whoever's in the West is going to win it
Hunger
because
Games.
we believe in them way more clutch wise. Like that's where I see it. That's my different definition of it. Because I watched Game 4 of that Celtics game against the Pacers when they closed it out. Jason Tatum. If Cat wasn't in these playoffs, I would talk about Jason Tatum more as far as like I hate the way he plays the game sometimes. Because offensively, he's never one of the biggest players on the court, but he plays like he's a point guard. Like he doesn't utilize his post game as much as he should. He does these stupid step back threes or step back shots, fadeaway shots more than he even needs to. And then when you need him to take over, it's kind of like he kind of lets Jaylen Brown set the stage or set the tone of the game for you. So it's just like I don't know how
Jalen is the alpha. Jalen is the alpha.
Jalen is the alpha, but because he can't go left, people were never gonna give him his flowers. And because Tatum, his highs are higher than anybody else's on his team, it's just that when he's low, it's just like he looks basic. He just looks like a regular solid player instead of like you should be one of the top 3 players in the league. Like there should be no question Jason Tatum should be a top 3, but he's probably top 8 at best.
Well, that's because they keep trying to force the superstar label onto people just because they're all-stars and because you can go to a finals without being a superstar. Like that's very possible. You can also even be a number 2 guy, or you could just have a loaded enough team without being a superstar. You can be a star player and you can have a bunch of good role players around you, but that don't mean you're a superstar because you went to the finals. Does that mean Kyrie's a superstar now? I think Kyrie's an all-star. I think Kyrie has a superstar name, but you can't build a team around Kyrie Irving. You can't really like for a long time people wanted to say Luka was a superstar, but I have a very strict criteria on that. So when I look at Boston, I see the fact that Tatum has had loaded teams since his rookie season. Since his very first time he dribbled a ball on the basketball court, he's had Gordon Hayward for 3 seconds, Kyrie Irving, then he had Kemba Walker, then you have Drew Holiday, then you have this like treasure trove of role players like Marcus Morris, Terry Rozier, guys who are getting contracts all over the place. You know what I mean? Marcus Smart is another point guard that we were talking about. Al Horford comes back, Al Horford leaves. You know, like all these different guys. Derek White becomes who he becomes. Like this is development of the Celtics, so I can't knock them for it, but I'm saying that people gave Tatum a lot when the tape shows that it's always just been a pretty damn good team around him, and he has a lot of talent, and he's a star player. He's an all-star, but when I look at, I want him to slash more, but that's boring, right? You know, like he doesn't think of that as like, man, I can be Kobe, you know, like I don't want to see you take all these fadeaways when you're not on. I want to see you get involved. I want to see you with floaters. I want to see you with more back to the basket. I want to see you slash more. I want to see you take your isolations in closer proximity to the rim. All this beyond the arc shit is cool, but it's very easy to defend it.
And he's not even efficient at it. That's my thing. That's the thing that pisses me off about it. It's like when you watch him shoot these threes, like he's missing way more than he makes. It's just that when he makes them, sometimes it be in the fourth quarter, or sometimes be when they need to start or end a run. But if he had a game like DeMar DeRozan, he would be a bona fide superstar in my mind, because he would be way more consistent at what he does best, which is within the arc.
These finals will be a good chance for him to try to insert himself.
I already seen that.
And then what he do though?
Tilton, bro.
Like I think Jason Tatum is not the type of player, like he's not Anthony Edwards. He's not a person who asserts himself for the game.
That's good.
He, as Nick and Q just explained it well, he's one of those players where you like, bro, you making this shit way more difficult than it need to be. Like, bro, you 6'8". Why are you doing step backs on somebody that's 6'3" that's guarding you? Right. Like, why are you doing that? And that's the frustrating thing about Jason Tatum's game. And when you look at him and you say, okay, would I take Luka over Tatum? Like, yes. Would I take Anthony Edwards over Tatum? Yes, because those people know how to make the game easier for themselves. When I'm looking at Jason Tatum play the Pacers, when I'm looking at him play, I think the Magic they played also in his playoffs, all of these series, he was making it way too hard for him to be the best players. You're shooting crazy turnaround threes. You're doing all this wild shit that just doesn't appease to your game. And when I'm looking at somebody like Anthony Edwards and I see him dunking over people to the 7 feet, I'm like, well, damn, bro, why can't you do that?
Tatum's
You
not that
7'8".
athletic though.
He is though.
He is.
He's not
athletic,
Anthony.
kid.
Not Anthony Edwards. Nah,
he's not
bro.
Okay, Anthony Edwards is a specimen. You're right.
Yeah.
But Jason Tatum is athletic, and he does all this unathletic shit to make us look at him like
dunked
bro,
on
what are you
LeBron.
doing? Yeah, 8 years ago.
They crowned him then, bro.
So I think Jason Tatum's one of his biggest problems is he makes the game way harder than it needs to be, and we see players like Luka, Kyrie, Anthony Edwards. We see players that are making the game a lot easier than we think it would be for them, and Tatum just don't fall into that category. Even his teammate Jaylen Brown, you see Jaylen Brown when he take over in the clutch, and like you said, he the alpha on that team because there's stretches in the game where it look easy to him. I don't see any stretches in the game where it look easy for Tatum. It always looked like he's taking the most difficult shot in the world.
Tatum is 6'10", man. He's 6'10", acting like that. It's Chris.
That's the
Great
crazy
point,
part.
Q.
There's times when he just disappears, and that's not a good look for a superstar and for a champion. I want him to stay involved in these
In the
games.
midst of the disappearance, he's shooting fadeaways over 6'5" people. It's like 6'10".
But to me, Boston is not a serious team right now, and they can completely flip this narrative and prove us all wrong. And if that happens, then hey, glory to God. But it's like, from what I've seen, bro, they play with their food way too much, and like to me, that's not killer instinct. I don't think that the Warriors play with their food when they were on their runs. Like they would have moments of, all right, well, let's just slack off and we yada. They'll blow a game, but you won't look in a series and see the Warriors head to head with the pre-Ja Grizzlies down every game. You're going down to the fourth quarter in every single game. Like, nah, bro. Like the Blazers with Dame would give the Warriors some trouble, but there would be games where they would blow them out. The Celtics have not had one or real showing of, okay, a dominant stretch of games. They're not playing with them. It's always, oh, we're gonna lose a game to Miami, the G League Miami Uber drivers. Like we're gonna lose to them when they have no Jimmy, they have no Tyler Hero, and they're looking at Duncan Robinson. Like that's just Spo out coaching Missoula. I'm looking at guys not wanting to really be that involved against Cleveland, guys who are not really diving on loose balls, who are not getting it, getting into their motion, into their sets the way that they should be. The tenacity's not there against the Pacers. And you're going down to fourth quarters where you have to have gargantuan efforts and heroic shots from Derek White, from Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown has to score 40 for you all. It's like this is not the makings of a team that is building good habits when you're going to have to go against Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic and a host of role players that are hitting their stride right now. Missoula has to get these guys in a mindset of we can't play with any of these leads. We can't play with our food. We have to go in from the tip off and take over. Like this is what it is. We have to assert our dominance because we have more talent across the board than either of these teams left on the West. If we're talking about just down the roster,
You think so?
Yes.
if you're doing a draft of role players, I believe that the Celtics are in that top 5 of I'll take a lot of their role players on my team right now. No one's really going to say that for the Timberwolves before the Nuggets series. No one's really saying that all year for Dallas. Everyone's like, can Dallas get it together? Can they put together a run? People were still thinking that OKC could beat them. This is very recent praise that we're giving Luka and Kyrie.
That is true.
Everyone's saying Derek White is great. Everyone says, oh, Al Horford can come in and give you 17 minutes a night for a backup big. Everyone was saying that, what's his name?
We're gonna say Pritchard.
Everyone's talking about Peyton Pritchard can go to another team and be a TJ McConnell type. These are very recent graces that we're giving to the Western Conference teams. Boston's always been in a position where they've been heralded for their play.
Do you think, we're talking about a team that has only lost 18 games, 16 games all year long. And I know the competition, so I'm not even glossing over that. But they did, as the best team in the league record-wise, they did what they should have done, like close to the finals.
Yeah.
we're not giving them a shot against. We really think they'll have a shot against Dallas?
They got
I'm
a
asking
shot,
you-
but I don't think they'll win though.
Let me ask you, Ken. What about you? What do you think if they face Dallas? Who's winning that series?
I'm thinking about we'll pick it next week because the final starts Thursday.
Okay, kick the can.
But
He shows business.
Content Ken.
Put it like this: if they were up on, if Dallas was up on them like Indiana was, Dallas ain't blowing that lead in them 3 games.
Not even that. Like we seen them struggle against a team without their like every round.
But the
teams didn't have their-
Pacers' offense, like
Yeah.
the way their
Yeah,
offense is
that's
designed, it
cool.
doesn't matter if Halliburton is in there or
Yeah.
not.
You and
it
I have been
doesn't.
watching NBA playoff basketball for a long time, and it's about the best player in the series. They got a lot to do with it. And we've seen the Celtics struggle each round against teams
No, they-
that
well-
didn't have their best player. Cleveland didn't have their best player.
They took them out.
Yes, but they didn't have their best player, and it was still
Yeah.
close
They
every
didn't have
game.
their best player for like what 2 games? Because
Enough
Donovan
for
Mitchell
10.
quit on the
For
team.
enough games for them not to
And he
struggle
was
with
hurt.
them. It should have been a sweep.
he
Even
was
with this
hurt.
last series that they had. Like they didn't have their best players and they still struggled with
but
them.
that-
Like
you got-
Q
but-
said the perfect thing. They were
Mm-mm.
playing with their food from Orlando to Cleveland to the last
I think
round
that
we
shows
just
resolve to come back from
No,
double-digit 18
stop
points.
it.
Also, you
Miami,
also have to
Miami.
understand the way that
Miami.
Indiana's offense, the way it's designed, the way they move the ball, they don't really need Halliburton to be in there. Remember, they went a while playing without him, so they're used to playing without him.
If Indiana
It's a
played
very
Dallas-
functional
if Indiana-
offense.
If Indiana played Dallas without Halliburton in a series,
You would see the same thing.
No, you would not.
Yes, you would.
No.
It's
McConnell
bro.
is
It's
gonna be on- McConnell is going to be on hell date.
Nah,
All they got
I
a
think-
little poster out there for him. Please
Bro,
save me.
Indiana Pacers
'Cause
were
Luka's
the
cooking me for
they were the
60 a
highest
game.
scoring team in the league. They were doing this to everybody. This is what they do. They came back and beat the Knicks
Don't do
with that superstar you were talking about in Bronson that you
Superstar.
so believed in.
Yes, I did.
He got
You're
hurt.
right.
All right. So this is just how they're. I think you can't look at the Pacers as they were missing their best player, but
Yeah.
and now you can look at
everybody was
and
missing
how
their
many
best
games did it
player.
take them to beat Miami?
What was
5,
it?
right?
Yeah, 5.
But they still lost games they weren't supposed to
They
lose.
lost-
And every
Yeah,
game was
they,
close.
They play with their food is correct, and then too, something
one
that
game.
I never thought about, but I heard NBA players say is that when you take the star out, sometimes
The other teams play.
it allows
harder.
people to kind of play more freely and do what they actually can do. These are all NBA players. These guys all deserve to be here. So it's easy to step
Bro.
up, especially when you have, like Ken said, you're running a player-friendly offense. So
What's-
it's easy to do that.
What's
But
the dude name that had 30 for Indiana?
Nembhard.
yeah, I love Nembhard.
I'm blaming that more on Boston than I am giving credit to Nembhard.
Like-
Yes, he may be an NBA player like you're saying, Shelton. That's cool. But you should not be able to go out here and get 30 against the number 1 team in the fucking Eastern Conference. That's a
Joe-
Boston thing. That's not a Nembhard thing. That's not a Miami thing. That's not a thing. Like it happened every round.
Right.
We seen it.
Right.
I just look at this if you're going to be betting on, and we're not sponsored by DraftKings or anything, unless y'all want to holler at
Prospects.
Ken, you know what I'm saying. But when I'm looking at a team and I'm betting on who I think can win, I think of who has the least amount of question marks or who has the most question marks. It just comes down to that for me. And Boston has so many question marks. Like, is Jaylen Brown going to be able to, dribble with his left hand? Is Jason Tatum going to be able to keep his head about him? Is Joe Mazzulla going to coach like he's been here before? Is Porzingis healthy? Is Al Horford going to be able to defend at this level? I'm looking at, can they stay in front of Kyrie? Can they stay in front of Luka? I'm looking at those things. From jump, though, we have to remember that Boston has been playing around at every single game. There's been probably 4 games throughout this playoffs where I've seen them just be dominant and say, all right, we're stepping on next from jump. If you are Joe Mazzulla, when they won game 1 against the Pacers, that was a choke job by Rick Carlisle. That was not Boston. If you tell Boston at the beginning of the season, hey, do you all want to be down 5, down 10 to Indiana in the last 3 minutes of the game and have a dog fight down to the last second where you need miracle shots where Pascal Siakam is too busy keep putting his hands in his pockets instead of contesting Jaylen Brown. Like it's a very miraculous win that you have in Game 1 against the Pacers. You lose where Spo outcoaches you in the first round. You have multiple games where Cleveland is like on the cusp of 6 points, a 5-point swing here. It's just been too many moments where I'm like, if you're Joe Mazzulla, you can't like this. This is not like, all right, guys, we've been here before. Just go ahead and coast. No, that's what the Lakers do after 2 rings. That's what the Spurs do after their second championship. That's what teams like that can have the luxury to do, and that's where I'll give you that benefit of the doubt. But when you're Boston and Steph dismantles you with Clay on one leg, Draymond being benched, and Andrew Wiggins playing the series of his life, I'm going to look at you crazy when you got to face Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic and you're struggling in each round. I don't see this dominance that we should see from 2 alleged superstars in Boston. And I'm not trying to hate on them now. I'm actually just speaking as a basketball fan. But there's a disconnect when the heat is on for Boston that I just don't see this machine. I see a bunch of parts that want to fire at different times. When Drew Holiday want to show up, he's keeping them in the game. When Jason Tatum is off, the other team is close. When Jaylen Brown wants to assert himself, that's when they blow teams out. When they want to play defense with Derek White and all these other bench guys, okay, cool. But it has to be firing all at once, and I've never seen it besides probably 2 or 3 games throughout the playoffs.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm not picking them, but they might surprise y'all. They may surprise y'all.
They ain't gonna surprise us. That's what we try.
They might. Like to sort of answer your question, Nick. The one thing I was asking myself once I saw Minnesota was down 3-0 and it looked like inevitability was going to happen. They putting up a fight now, but we'll see how that fourth quarter go.
Text message I just got about this game. I'm starting to believe the cat is slow.
Content warning.
He just hit a 3, man. He doing all right now. Is how do they guard Luka and Kyrie? So Drew can do his best against one of them, so he'll make it difficult.
Kyrie, yeah, he probably got to guard Kyrie.
So what do they do against Luka? Who's gonna pick him up and guard him?
It's gonna be Derek White and Jaylen Brown, probably like trying to zone that more than anything. That'll be like a 2-man job. Pause. But it's like the entirety, because Cameron got me in a whole different bag, y'all. Like the way that he showed up on CNN, everything is a pause now for me. But it's like, this nigga's scared. I'm about to get some cheeks after this, like crazy. But yeah, man, Drew Holiday and Derek White and most likely Jaylen Brown are going to be your primary defenders. You're going to try to funnel guys in Al Horford to clean up glass. If Porzingis can come back, he's going to be, I guess, your like lock and key for this machine that I'm not seeing. So we'll see, man. If they can get some contributions from Porzingis and Horford, it actually does help them a lot more against Dallas, because now you can kind of shut down a lot of the role players. It's a lot of drive and kick with Kyrie. And it's a lot of back down into the post and find an open shooter, kickouts for Luka. But when you have those amount of like long limbs in the paint, just being able to swarm, it does pose questions for Dallas and Jason Kidd. But I trust Jason Kidd and his staff more than I trust Mazzulla. And I trust in the clutch. If we're going to see a bunch of close games, if you're telling me that Boston's going to play the exact same way against Dallas and we get a bunch of close games where it's 2 minutes left, you give me Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, yeah, I'll give me Kyrie and Luka, man. It's simple.
I'm looking at the postseason schedule. I see a lot of double-digit wins by the Celtics.
Don't be fooled. Watch the tape.
No, I did watch the games. No, I did. Yeah, so I don't know. But what I was looking for was how they matched up, in the regular season, if that happened before the trades happened. But yeah, no, I know some of these teams be in these games with seemingly no apparent reason.
You looked up them against Dallas in the regular season?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
I looked at that too, but the only reason I threw that out because Minnesota was beating Dallas like that in the regular season.
Yeah, but that was pre-trades though.
No, it was post.
I thought I heard it was pre-trade.
I thought it was post because I looked up a couple of them. I think.
And Kyrie didn't. No, we talked about it because Kyrie didn't play in 2 of those wins that they had against him.
Oh, okay. I gotta go.
Yeah, and I think Luka didn't play in one of them.
Even
If I heard
if it
correctly.
was post trade, you still got a gel. So I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was a very different team, which, that's why I kind of gave the event. Ooh.
And they hit their stride at the right moment. Now,
that was the Grant Williams man.
Is that a foul on Cat?
Yeah, Cat may have 5 fouls right now.
Sheldon, those were the Grant Williams
In the fuck is
Oh, it was.
The last 2 fouls are the dumbest fouls I've ever seen.
Hey, Q, that's who at home sick. I had this meme.
Grant Williams.
Yeah, because if Boston and Dallas make it, those are both his old teams. So he's sitting at the crib like, I can't stand these. Who?
Okay, so
oh yeah, right.
it was Dallas January 22nd. They played Dallas January 22nd. Then they played Dallas again on March 1st. They won both. None of that really matters. They won those games. One was in March, like you said. They have the jail, and they seem to got chemistry right now. So we'll see how it goes. So
What was that?
Chris-
What was that? What was that right there?
What that?
Yes. What was that? What was that, man?
What I said last week. And
Come on, bro. And look how the ref looking at him like, bro, get your dumb ass out of my face, man.
he was like, Chris Paul's leg is hurt,
bro.
but he's standing up now, and he ain't sit behind the bench no more. He up.
Nigga, that's crazy.
yeah, they were trying to hype up the coach that was kind of standing there for him, literally, like he's gonna be a guy, and giving him credit for winning those games.
Man, look.
They could use Finch right now. Finch probably on two. Them man's probably good, bro.
And he got up. He just got up. He probably like, man, I can't take this no more.
Facts.
So that's him standing behind Cat right there.
To Spike's point, it's just the only thing that if Spike was the GM or the exec arguing for trading Cat, I would be seared into my mind that how am I supposed to, with the coach of the year, you're still making these fouls.
These type of plays, bro.
It's just like,
What can I tell you? How can I save you?
I can't even.
Like if I bring Cat into the office and I'm the GM, I'm like, okay, how can I help you? He don't know. He has no idea, bro.
Yeah, with Anthony Edwards, man.
Yeah,
Nick, do you remember when Ant? I'm trying to give you a lob here. Do you remember when Ant was like, "Yo, just stop fucking fouling"?
Stop fouling.
That's what I was about to say. It's like it's not even like you can't really blame the coach, and you can't literally blame anybody else but Cat, because if your youngest player, who's arguably your best, if not definitely second best player, is telling you like, bro, stop fouling. Like you're doing stupid shit. Even I know not to do that shit. Yeah.
And I gotta do this to you. I can't do it on the court. I can't do it in the locker room. I gotta do this to you in front of everybody at a press conference for me to even think that you understand it.
Because
that goes
everybody's
a long
aware,
way.
because everybody's aware of it.
Everybody knows that you do it right. And I'm being the alpha male in the room and being like, look, bro, I know I've told you on the practice court. I know I've told you after the game. But now I need to tell you in front of everybody so you will stop being stupid. And he still won't stop being stupid, bro.
And the thing is though is that it's not even just about don't foul, because they'll sometimes give free points because sometimes a foul is not going to always be a shooting foul. I understand it, but at the end of the day, Anthony Edwards and every coach, every player is going to tell you, bro, when you make dumb fouls, it puts us in a position where now we got to find someone else to take your shots, and it's going to key in on me as a 22-year-old guard to try to carry you. Me and now Nas Reed got to go nuts. Now Jaden McDaniels got to go nuts when they're just here to be auxiliary pieces. Now they have to put up and carry the slack that you're supposed to as a former All-Star. It's not necessary.
Yeah, and now off of that is what was a 4-point game. It turned into 4 points for the Mavs because of that, and he's on the bench. To your point,
Yep. Now
He
other people
out
got to step up.
until at least dinner, probably halfway through the fourth.
Now you can't even atone for it and help us with points, because now we got to factor in, man, can he make it to the end of the game? Because if we got to put Nas Reed and Gobert back in, like, that's not really a good tandem. Like, it's solid, but it can't get you through an 8-minute stretch if we have to sit you for the rest of the fourth. Like, these are the decisions that if you're Minnesota, it's gonna be a key offseason because it's all about your philosophy going forward. How do you see yourself? Do you think that this was a disappointment? Because if you were fully loaded and felt like the Gobert trade was the final piece and Ant was just the cherry on top, then you kind of got to make another move. But if you think that this wasn't a disappointment, it was more so a surprise, then you're like, hey, man, Cat, we can fix this. Ant's going to go up another level. He'll take a leap in the offseason. Jaden McDaniels will take a leap in the offseason. That's where you're at now. And you're watching Kyrie and Luka just dance on you, and you got your guys on the bench when do I want to pay a guy to just sit on the bench in the playoffs if this is how he's just going to be?
Yep.
Well, that's tough. Well, they fighting, but yeah, it's again, I got to see the fourth quarter, man. I got to see the fourth quarter. What's Cat gonna do? Like, I think do they in some of these moments? Oh yeah, that looked like it might have been clean.
That was a carry like a motherfucker. That was a clean steal.
Yeah. Oh well, because that would be Ant's fourth foul.
Yep. Also for Sheldon, this does not look good on Charlotte. The way that PJ Washington has just found a role, just killing guys from that corner, man.
I was about to say there's a rumor that Houston may be looking to get LaMelo. I think doesn't Q, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Houston have the 4th pick in this draft?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, they can keep that pick. That pick means nothing. PJ did this in Charlotte. The same thing in Charlotte. It's just, it had
the
no
moment.
effect.
The moment wasn't big.
No, he could always shoot. And what he is now, I knew was valuable to a team that was more ready for what he had.
Yeah.
So he's always been that 3-and-D guy that could shoot. He's always had a really pretty jump shot, but it's been wasted these last couple of years. So when he moved to Dallas, I talked about that at the time. Like that's a huge pickup because I always thought he had talent. He just was lost in the sauce. And like I said, I've always liked Gafford. I like Gafford at Chicago when he hardly got to play.
He was good in Washington. He was really good in Washington.
Yeah. He finally got his burn. In Chicago, he was way at the end of the bench. I kind of played with him on the game. I was on NBA Live. That's when I kind of found out about him like that.
2K.
2K.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know you weren't playing NBA
I wasn't
Live
playing
in
NBA
2005.
It was 2K. I'm tripping. But he's a talented dude too. Those two pieces is what set Dallas apart. They was a good team, but you add these pieces in and they're a great team. Because it's crazy. We don't even mention Tim Hardaway. And at times he was the 3rd best player on this team.
True.
But he ain't even playing.
He ain't done nothing.
They don't need him to take bad shots anymore.
That's it.
Great point.
Y'all want to talk about the finals matchup or wait till next week? Also, finals MVP at the end of the series?
This series MVP?
Finals.
No. Yeah, we need to wait till
wait. Yeah.
We could wait.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's speak life on Minnesota,
You don't want to wait till June 6th to get more basketball.
Here's what I was thinking. It's unlikely, but I was thinking that hypothetically, if they somehow scrap and claw manage to win this game, of course they go home. Favors them. They win that. Game. Somehow scratch and claw their way to another win.
3-2.
Hey man, Game 7 at home. Anything can happen. Anything is possible.
They gotta win 3 games straight though.
They can win 4 games straight.
They gotta win 4 games straight, Lou. That's what it is.
Well, they gotta win 3 games straight just to get to Game 7.
Yeah, but
I don't even know if
that's not insurmountable. I mean, they've never lost 4 straight games the whole year.
The Nuggets.
The first time losing 3 games was against Denver.
Yeah.
They ain't seen no beast like Kyrie and Luka can.
I got one thing to say.
It's very possible. I mean,
it depends on Cat. Like if there was somebody else right there other than Cat besides Anthony Edwards, I would say yes, you're right because I believe.
Oh no, it's never happened with even some of the best players. But I'm just saying,
if there was somebody more dependable than this person we just seen commit them 2 dumbass fouls, then yes, it may be possible. But Cat gonna fuck up.
Yeah, I just think what Kyrie's killer instinct is going to bring to the table is going to be too much for them to get even 2 games in a row. Even if they got 1 game, they can't get to.
They could possibly get 2. I could see them going 3-2. That's it.
I don't like I said. I just don't see Kyrie allowing that to happen.
A long series benefits Minnesota the longer that this goes because Luka and Kyrie are not the most like Iron Man type of players. So
True.
Who was that just shot that?
Hardy,
Who?
Jaden Hardy,
Jaden Hardy, he's tough.
He is tough. He don't get to play. You never see him. You see him in summer league and you'll see him in the preseason, but you rarely see him. But he's getting the minutes that Tim Hardaway would get,
Oh,
and he's a bucket.
okay. That means Tim Hardaway gone.
He's a bucket.
Yeah, no,
Especially
he's
for
gone.
that much money.
He's just young.
How better can
Look.
Jaden McDaniel improve?
I think
Say
he
it
has a
again,
leap. I think he has a leap. Jaden McDaniels can take a leap this summer. I don't know what his average is right now, but I think that when at his peak, he could be like a 17, 18 point per game playoff scorer. I really do feel like if he gets a little bit more dribble drive to his game, could work out.
He's definitely he's definitely a championship role player.
I think he is what he's going to be, though. I think what you see in him right now is what he is. He's one of those other guys that came through the Charlotte way, but he's a talented player. I just don't see him improving.
I don't even think he has to improve much with continued experience in the playoffs like this. He's definitely a championship role player.
He just has to
He's
make,
someone with he's a Derek Fisher. He's a Robert Ory. He's someone of that ilk way.
Yeah.
Like when I don't need you to score 25, 30 points, but when I need you to hit points, you can do it. He can definitely do that.
He's a 3-and-D guy too. He needs to make those open jump shots. That's the biggest thing, and guard the hardest the number one option on the other team.
He's
That's
their
what you
Derek
need
White.
him for.
He is their Derek White. It's just
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Let me read some of these super chats. I do have another question I want to ask y'all before we close out. Since we're going to wait on those other, when we're going to talk about the finals next year, next week, not next year. Adrian Wells, what's good, everyone? How y'all doing? What up, Adrian?
What's up, Adrian?
He was on one of the lives with us, wasn't he? Appreciate the. Oh yeah. I see him lurking in the shadows in this picture. Appreciate it. Birdman at 5-0. Shelton, this run ain't better than the Cavs run. And where is it? This is interesting, of course. All runs are meant to be broken, but Kev said Kyrie has lost his last 10 games against Boston.
Oh, not the. I'm sorry, Birdman. I didn't mean the run is better. I'm saying he's playing at a high level. I like the level he's playing now, and him as a player to me is comparable.
This is Sheldon hedging his take. That's what it is.
No. That was my whole take. That wasn't that the question I said. I said which one was playing better. There you go again, Ken. That dude is nice, and now he about to get cooking.
Is he just having a moment, or
Hardy?
Dallas got a team of microwaves, man. They just everyone can heat up.
Yeah, he's got game.
That's
like
a good
that.
way to put it.
He's just a kid too, but he's got game. He would be playing anywhere else. It's just who he's playing behind.
That's the underrated thing about Ant is that he knows where to dish it at. Like his passing ability, his eye for the open player is good.
he's gotten a lot better at that, for real.
Yeah, man, he's gonna get that off season of work where what you're seeing from Kyrie is 3 words: no wasted movement. Everything is just when I get the ball here, boom, boom, boom. When I get the ball at the top of the key, boom, boom, shot. When I get the ball in the post, one dribble, over top, floater. You know what I mean? There's no wasted movement with Kyrie. And then the thing that's so crazy about Kyrie is that even with this mature game that he's now grown into, he's kind of like where Kobe was in 2008, 2009, where oh shit, he's not wasting any movement. It's not a lot of like dribble pound. Like it's like, all right, 1-1, I'm going. One move, I'm gone. Like pass, I'm going. I'm cutting. You know what I mean? It's just. But the thing that's crazy about Kyrie is that he still has that creativity to his game where if
he can adjust.
If all breaks down, if everything breaks down, okay, playground. And that's where it's just like frustrating as a defense when you've built your team around a front court because you're like, bro, how do we stop these 2 dynamic guards when we don't actually have another guard that we can put on. And I know some people in the chat would be like, yeah, you do. It's Anthony Edwards. But Anthony Edwards, you can't put him on another star because you need his legs fresh to play offense. So you kind of have the onus of defense being on Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, who they need him to be fresh to shoot threes and to assist. So it all comes down to McDaniels, Gobert, and Towns. And that's an equation to go back to the first question. That's the equation that you're trying to solve this offseason. Is Gobert, McDaniels, and Towns enough when we have to face Denver next year, when we face this team next year, when we face a Lakers team next year? Can we get by on that? Are we ready for all scenarios? Do we have to add something? Do we have to subtract something?
Yeah, I definitely, yeah. We'll do a post-mortem on them. But, you know, hey, they trying, bro. They giving it all they got. And, you know, one thing about Cat going to the bench with foul trouble, they played without him, and they were fine. Last one I got here, and then I asked you guys the question. Kev Thimothy, 8 of the 12 playoff Celtic wins were about double digits. What is it about? And I know this is probably just a societal thing, but I thought it was really, really interesting how quickly people turned on Anthony Edwards. As he struggled in game 1, fumbled everything in game 2. They were down 3, and they just was like dogging this guy. And we talking about a guy that hasn't really done anything to anybody. Who's a pleasure, you know, he seems fun in interviews and stuff like that. Real likable guy. And but it feels like most of the backlash were the Michael Jordan comparisons, which he's never said that, I don't believe. But why do people do that? Why are we attacking Anthony Edwards now? Not we as in us, but what happened? What did that man do to anybody, bro?
SEO, man. Search engine optimization. That's the business of these big conglomerates. It's the reason why Drake put Tupac in the beef. Because now you can involve all these old heads who, man, he ain't real hip hop. I'm listening, I'm paying attention now. Fuck that. That's what it goes to, right? Same shit where, all right, Anthony Edwards is Michael Jordan. Now you get all the Jordan Glazers and the people who just know that Michael Jordan is better to be involved. Like, man, let's see this kid fail then. All right, if he Michael Jordan, show me something. And that's what it comes down to. You're trying to elicit reactions. Everything is down to attention. So attention equals currency in sports and in entertainment, because when you get a lot of attention on something, most oftentimes you're going to be able to monetize. So they have some level of vested interest in making guys like Wemby, he got a defensive player of the year vote. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's in MVP voting. You want to make sure that the next generation is getting the marketing that they deserve. So what do? Anthony Edwards, he dark-skinned, he can dunk. He look like Michael Jordan sometimes. And that's how you get people to react like, yeah, I see it. Or you get guys who be like, man, fuck that, and I'm invested in his downfall.
Why didn't they turn on? Because I don't think I saw a similar reaction online when Shai got put out. Shai.
He's a lot quieter. He's not as boisterous.
He's Canadian.
I think.
He's a lot quieter.
He's Canadian was funny. I think with Anthony Edwards, the thing is, you get it both ways if you're the media. He's this loud personality. He says these funny things, so we get to prop him up and ride that coattail all the way to the finals if it happens. Like, we get to do that because we know he's going to be a fun interview.
Yep.
He's going to be a fun post-game thing. However, we still get to do that thing that we love to do with people that are on top, and we get to break you down if you go out here and you get swept.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy, he was so braggadocious, and he was so this, and he was so that. Look at him now, he's down 3-0. They got to have it both ways. So all the first takes, the get-ups, all the FS1 shows, they were able to play both sides of the fence, and then when you get to see a clear picture of where it's going to fall, you fell to that side. And it's like, oh, well, he didn't do what he said he was going to do because, again, we love to tear people down. But they already hedged their bets on him being this person that they want to ride to the finals. So they just took it both ways.
What were you saying about Shai?
He's just a much more docile type player. He's not as boisterous.
He's from Canada. He's Canadian.
And that's true.
He ain't from East Atlanta.
He's not.
He ain't an East Atlanta.
He's not.
He ain't from East Atlanta.
So, and Ant's the type of player who you either love or hate. with Shea, it's kind of like you know, either you love him or you like him. You know what I'm saying? Ant is love or hate. So you like you said, you either watching him succeed or you watching his downfall. Either way, he's gonna catch the heat regardless. And he put a target on his own back as well.
Yeah.
And
But that's respectable though in this
right,
day
I'm
and
fine
time,
with
because
that.
a lot of people not willing to do that.
I'm
he
fine
stepped
with
out
that.
there and I'm going to be Anthony Edwards. I ain't gonna shy away from what box y'all try to put me in. I'm
Right.
gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna go back it up out on the court. And if y'all don't like me, so what? Who cares? And that's why I think this panel, everybody, we love him. He does what he said he's gonna do.
Right.
Bro, why in the world are they trying? Why do they give Gobert shots? This is game. Y'all playing for y'all lives. What are y'all doing? Y'all R. Kelly right now, and y'all give him a post up. He had what is? Look at this. He has no shot at making
It's
that.
Luka,
What are y'all doing?
It's Luka. He's supposed to get them.
I saw a lot of love for Ant. You know, I didn't see the hate until this series, so I just thought it was interesting. Again,
Because the haters had to be quiet. You had to be quiet while he was on his run, and he was closing miles back then. So you know you don't speak up until you see what's happening. And once again, he's struggling a little bit too. So to whom much is given, much is expected. He gets a lot of praise, so he's gonna catch a lot of heat when it's not, regardless as to how young. We would have said if he had lost in the first round, we could have blamed it on youth and immaturity and went on about our business. But the fact that he advanced this far, the critics and the skeptics are going to be a lot harder.
Shit, y'all had him losing in the first round.
I did.
Woo! I had him as a dark horse, Ken. I ain't gonna say none of that.
You saying it because he black?
I picked Dallas to win it.
Nobody got back on defense too. That's terrible. That's terrible. They kind of job back, bro.
They average like 5 alley oops a game. It's crazy.
And again, another Ant turnover. Now you got.
He's just
no
young,
foul.
man. He's just young, man. Sometimes you just lose to a better team. Sometimes you're just not as experienced
There
as
you
you're
go.
going to be. And this is the worst Ant is ever going to be in any season.
Facts. He's only going to get better. Q, I agree with
I mean, that's 4 points. Like it seemed like when they were about to seize control or try to build a cushion, he turns it over, dribbling in the paint. He's been assertive. He's been aggressive. It was good to see, but you know.
Yes. Like I said, I just hate it because it's so tough to get back to this point. And it's going to be a,
Hey man,
a
long
mountain.
as he ain't got Cat, man, he can make it.
Well, Luka got back, man.
Luka got the team actually got better around him.
That's why the Minnesota gonna have to.
I
get
just
better.
don't know how they can do it. Like I said,
Get rid of Cat. That's how they do it. I don't know why y'all trying to fight
like
that.
like I said, they're so strapped though. They don't really have much to offer outside of trying to get rid of.
A lot of teams will take Cat.
Yeah, like Cat
You know,
is a hot
lot of
commodity.
teams will take him, man. Like Mike Conley, but I was trying to reiterate. Everybody on the Minnesota team has raised their trade value. Everybody.
Yes.
Like there's
Not
not
making it
really
this
like.
far.
By making it this far, you're like, man, Mike Conley, so like he got another 2-3 years perhaps left in
He
the
does.
league contributing. Anthony Edwards is all right. Are you going to be the face of the league? Are you going to be one of the faces? All right. Jaden McDaniels, are you one of the premier 3-and-D young players in the NBA? You know what I mean? Like we talk about Lou Dort and Derek White. He's in that like sphere now of like, no, he can lock up guys' best player, and he can knock down 3 to 4 threes a game and get 2 or 3 assists. He's a Swiss Army knife type of guy. You have Naz Reid, who has shocked everybody who went undrafted. You know, Naz Reid was supposed to get signed by the Lakers, but Minnesota smartly retained him. Chris Finch, he's getting out coached right now, but he didn't just win that Coach of the Year for no reason. You know, and everyone's brain trust in Minnesota, there's going to be job offers to all those guys in the front office now. Hey, you saw these players. We want you to come and help our culture here. Hey, assistant coach, come and coach the Cavaliers. Like that's what's going to be happening now. Like so Minnesota, they have all the momentum on their side.
Speaking of the Cavs, as Q was just saying, if Minnesota called me in the offseason, they said we'll give you Cat and we want Garland and Allen and we'll make the rest of the salaries pick. I'm taking that if I'm Minnesota, and I'm a better team tomorrow. I got Allen who can do the same shit that Cat can do, and I got a point guard in Garland who can score and get Cat the ball. Like there are possibilities out there for it to happen. They just got to be willing to let
So
go
you
of
think
Cat.
Allen and Gobert on the same team is better than this Cat?
Yes.
Well,
With Garland, yes.
I mean, or just get D Mitch and just go offense. Like, yo, sign and trade Cat and somebody else, if that's what you think is going to push you over the edge. It all comes down to where you see yourself, man.
D. Mitch would Gobert again.
I think that D. Mitch and Gobert could actually right the wrongs because you have an alpha on the team finally. Like D. Mitch, just worry about buckets, and McDaniels and Nasri, who all these people. We're gonna focus on the defensive side, Gobert and all that stuff. Like we just need you to play and give us 20 to 28 points in the playoffs.
Well, here's what I had, and we'll close it out. On Yahoo Sports, they got an article. So I think a lot of the situations you guys were talking about will be discussed because in order to keep this trio together, they will have to overspend. So questions will have to be asked if they want to go into the luxury tax. What are our real chances of winning a title if we run it back and or not? So yeah, and it could get pretty expensive, especially for repeat offenders. So if the owner is concerned about cutting cost, then yeah, you Cat might be up out of there because he is the probably most valuable player on that team that you can get picks for and players for. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what they do. They just got to get rid of Gobert. My God, why do they keep giving this man?
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys. Klay Thompson is talking about going to Orlando. LeBron James and Bronny. There's Jimmy Butler wants a max. Paul George wants a max. Zach LaVine and DeRozan. You know what I mean? It might just be marginal moves like a Caruso or a Kobe White. Go, you know what I mean? Like it just can be whatever you think your philosophy is. Like I don't think there's any wrong answer here, and I don't think Minnesota teams. I don't think Minnesota fans will be heartbroken if Cat gets sent for a package of Draymond Green and fucking Kuminga or somebody. Like no one's gonna be like, oh my God, a horrible move. I was like, all right, pretty lateral move.
Nah, because they got Cat. They love Cat. They don't. I mean, not Cat. I mean Ant. They love Ant, so they don't really care. But if Cat's out of there, bro, they don't give a damn. They got their guy. He has a personality. He's electrifying. You know, he has everything they need. So they're content if they get rid of him to make the team better. So yeah, I think they'll be fine if he's moved on for better pieces to build around him. So yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's always this, like, who would have thought a move for Gafford, PJ Washington, Derrick Jones Jr., some Jaden guy I never even heard of.
These are some random niggas that like you said, Q, they just all of a sudden just start getting hot in the playoffs.
They unlocked the code.
Microwaves, man. They're just microwaves.
They unlocked the code and they found their roles. They fit their niche and they're doing exactly what Jason Kidd is imploring them to do. Jason Kidd started with Kyrie, and we talked about him. He started getting Kyrie to buy in. Well, we'll take it even further. He started with Luka. Like, Luka, you're going to have to defer to Kyrie sometimes. You are not going to be the number one option for 4 quarters. There's going to be times when Kyrie is the man. So you got to get Luka to buy in. Then you had to get Kyrie to buy in to the system. And then everybody else was downhill from there. Because you got all these guys, like I said, they're fine with taking the shots they're taking. There's times when PJ doesn't score 25. There's times when Gafford gets you 20. You know what I'm saying? There's times when Derrick Jones gets you 16 and 6 rebounds. So everybody stepped up. This game, Jaden Hardy, I think, got 13. Like, who would have expected that?
I saw the case being made for Jason Kidd being one of the best basketball people ever, as far as from his high school recruiting to him being successful in college, to leading Cal to where they went to him being an NBA player that led his team to a championship. And now if he wins a title with Dallas, it's like that's damn near unprecedented career.
Yeah, especially with this team and the improbable run they've been on, because it ain't like, you're taking a 5 seed, and you going into these places where you expected to lose every series, and you're winning these things convincingly.
And people are telling you can't do it with Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've been saying it since the trade was made.
Yeah, that means shit. They couldn't until they went and got
about
these
to
other
say,
guys. Let's not pretend like it.
But still, you got to give Jason Kidd some credit for that, Ken.
Yeah,
you give him a lot of credit, but it's only 3 games in that we really saying this shit.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Western Conference Finals 3-0 lead, like, they wasn't saying this against OKC. No one said like, oh yeah, whoever wins this series can go win it all.
They were average at best. They started off hot. They didn't even make the playoffs last year, I think.
They didn't.
Yeah, so come on, let's not act like they were losing with this duo.
Well, last year they.
All right. So they made the right moves. Cuban made the right moves, and now they're here. So now it's working. But yeah, the people were when they were saying that, Spike, they had a lot of evidence to back it up. Now it's just change. So yeah.
They've unlocked the code. They really have unlocked the code. And like I said, for me, the biggest difference is on the defensive end because you got 5 people playing defense now. It's not like that was a steal, turnover by Ant. It's not like that's another turnover, but you seeing 5 guys play tremendous defense.
Yeah.
And we never could have said that before.
Kyrie Cole. 30 points by Dallas off turnovers. Yikes, that's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Those are when they look at this.
It's just film, man. It's film and growth. They never been here before.
Yeah. But I think Luka is a stone cold killer, so you're about to see a lot of Luka down the stretch.
Oh, right. Man. Dude, what?
And it's close, too.
How are these guys hitting all these threes?
Pass?
Dude, they're just nice, man. This is all practice. Like they have too much gravity. They have too much gravity.
That's PJ's shot.
He's 2 of 7 from 3, so never mind.
But that's his shot, though.
Luka and Kyrie have so much gravity. What they can do off the dribble is basically what Steph does off of the catch. You know what I mean? Like it's like we gotta follow Steph around the court.
Right.
It's the same with Kyrie and Luka. Yo, we're gonna dance, get to the paint. I'm gonna fake. I'm gonna kick it to my guy. 3. It's just crazy, man. Shout out the kid and the staff. And the GM for Dallas is one of the masterminds behind this roster. So
yeah, because somebody left their guy. Man, you know what? I don't really hate NBA. I don't hate players the way I used to. I've grown up. But Gobert, bro, is on the list. He is making. If I had a list right now, it would be Gobert. I swear to God, bro. I don't know. It's just he just irritates the shit out of me. He's been so overhyped.
Goodness.
Yeah.
You know, it's But
boy, this game is frustrating to watch.
That's all.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Like, who's gonna at some point? We all expect. I mean, I'm done with the show, by the way. That Gobert, like, if I was a betting man, I'd put my money on Cat to make the dumb decision.
Well, you may not get the opportunity because they're gonna sit him on the bench soon.
You think he's gonna he's gonna foul out?
It's bad.
Did you see that? PJ just walked right past Cat. What was Cat doing?
Like you know what the problem is with Gobert is that like although I do think he has a lot of value in the NBA, it's just some people have a body language thing where it's like you make 7 feet look so not cool, like
bruh.
You know what I mean? Like you make me feel sorry for you that you were 7 feet. It's like you want to be 6 foot. You so bad. You want to be.
It depends on
you want to be a 6'5" guard so bad, bro.
You're talking about either one of them when you're saying that.
Yeah, like Cat want to be a 6'7" like small forward so bad, dude. I feel it.
Can y'all? Now I'm gonna tell you what's funny. Can you imagine how cool Cat looked at himself in his head right now?
Man, he's like, man, I got Jordan Woods. I got
like,
he think that's his team.
I'm eating good.
Yeah.
Cat don't even think that Ant number 2. He think that Ant his sidekick.
He don't even see how awkward he look when he make those moves. He make the faces.
Cat was waving and kissing to the crowd when they made the play-in, man. It was like, I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Like, what? All right, dude. I get it.
Well, but he has all of the talent in the world. He'll do some shit like that, and you be like, man. But then he just, I don't know, bro. It's funny. But they got a problem in their hand because here comes this man.
Yep.
And Luka, they getting into it, man. They going for the kill. Wait a sec. Man, please don't get that ball to Gobert unless he just wide open, bro.
Hey, rest in peace, Bill Walton, man.
Yeah, big red. I'm actually gonna slide up out of here, y'all. Catch the end of the game and whatnot. But
Yeah, me too.
All right.
All right, yeah, we're done. Yeah. Oh, they all look at them. They think they're gonna win. Q.
we go.
He hype.
I'll be back next week if Minnesota wins.
Hey, if they win, they're gonna win the series.
It's going
Oh,
6.
God.
It's going
It's going
6.
7, Nick, and they're gonna win it. They're gonna be the first team to come back from down 0-3.
Gentlemen sweep.
I
bro.
got them going 6. Yeah.
Well, first off, let me quit. This finna be a sweep tonight. It's over.
I don't know.
I'm not even finna play.
I think
with y'all.
4-1,
I'm not gonna hold y'all. It's over with.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.